Hello everyone and welcome back. This video is a continuation of my previous video, so be sure to watch my previous video titled How to Draft the Basic Sleeve Pattern of Sloper Method 2 Part 1. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified when new video tutorials are uploaded. Leave your comment down below in the comment section. Share and like this video by clicking on the thumbs up icon. Thank you. If you're drafting the right sleeve, the back will be the side closer to you and the front will be the side further from you. Now we'll need to start extending the midpoint, starting with the line close to the bicep on the back side of the sleeve. Extend the midpoint by 1/4 of an inch inward, then extend the other line by 3/8 of an inch outward. For the front side of the sleeve, extend the upper line by 3/4 of an inch outward and the lower line close to the bicep by 1/2 an inch inward. I previously extended my outward line by 1/2 an inch and my inward line by 1/4 of an inch. Then I realized that my front sleeve curve will look almost identical to that of the back curve. On a basic sleeve, the front cap curve is usually curvier and the back curve is shallower. Ensure that your curved ruler touches all the 3 key points of each curve you will need to draw. Repeat the same process for the other side of the sleeve. The next step is to notch the sleeve curve with a corresponding notch on the front and back pattern. To do that, we'll need to decide where to place the notches on the sleeve. To figure out where to place the notches on the sleeve, fold the top line over to the bicep line to create a crease. It's like finding the midpoint between the top line and the bicep line. Where the crease line intersects the cap curve on the front and back side of the sleeve will be the notch placement points. Place a single notch on the front and double notches on the back. Next thing we're going to do is place a a notch on our sloper, a corresponding notch on the back of our sloper, and a corresponding notch on the front of our sloper. So I'm going to erase this notch because they were from the first sloper that I drafting that I did, the sleeve drafting that I did. It may not correspond, so I'm going to take them out, and I'm just going to try and notch this. So now that we have notched the sleeve, we'll need to place corresponding notches on the front and back bodies. There are two methods you can use to place the notches on the bodice. One is the measuring method, and the other one is the walking method. I will demonstrate the measuring method on the front side of the sleeve. The measuring method is just simply measuring the length from the notch point to the underarm point on the sleeve. From the notch point to the underarm point, I got 4 3/4. Then transfer that measurement to the front bodice. So I'm going to transfer that 4 3/4 onto the front bodice. Measure from the underarm point on the bodice to the shoulder point. Fold the seam allowance under so you don't mistakenly add that to your measurement. The walking method is simply aligning and walking the curve on the sleeve to the body's armhole curve until you get to the notch point. Then place a corresponding notch on the armhole curve on the bodice. To demonstrate the walking method, place the bodice in such a way that it can be walked along the sleeve cap curve. Because my drafting paper is transparent, I flipped my bodice and walked it along the sleeve cap. To be certain, I used the measuring method to double check that the notches are on the same level. The next step is to find the shoulder placement. Starting with the back, transfer the back armhole length measurement to the back sleeve cap curve. So my back armhole length is 8.5 inches. So I measured 8.5 inches from the underarm to where 8.5 inches stops on the sleeve curve. Moving on to the front, my front armhole length is 8 inches, so I measured 8 inches from the underarm to where 8 inches stops on the front sleeve curve. Then measure the distance between the 2 points. It measured 4 inches, which is way more than the half an inch to 1 inch required is for a set-in sleeve. If this sleeve were for a jacket or a coat, it would have been okay, because a jacket or coat requires more ease. To do an adjustment, the first thing to do is to cut out the sleeve.